So right here, on the outskirts of Tbilisi, is the world-famous Tbilisi Auto Museum. At least it is according to the website.
Стоимость билета 10 лари.
10 лари.
Это частный автомузей. Владелец музея бизнесмен Георгий Мамулашвили, который более 25 лет собирает эту коллекцию. Это единственный автомузей не только в Грузии, но и за Кавказе тоже.
Look at this, Moskvich. It means Moscow man. Or, more specifically, somebody from Moscow. Now this one was a cop car. You can tell because it says militia on it. And militia is the Soviet word for police, because the USSR didn't have a police. They had a militia, which was basically the equivalent of a police. Wow, check this bad boy out. So you probably know the Ford Model T, right? The first assembly car that Ford produced. Well, at some point, they needed to compete because other manufacturers are starting to create cars. So Ford updated the Model T with the Model A. And, right, it's not black. So that's how you know it's not the Model T, because all the Model Ts were black. It's a pretty sick car. Check that out. And then, well, Ford, being the good capitalist that he was, helped the USSR make their own version of it, which was this one. So it's basically pretty much a carbon copy of the Model A. Like Ford gave, the parts and everything to the USSR and the licensing so that they could make them. But USSR, so only military people and the, important higher ups were able to drive this freaking beast over here. Look at that. Communism. And then at some point, even that got updated, and then they made this car also. Alright. This is a pretty comfy car, actually. Much more comfy than the RAV4 I'm normally driving. Could do some nice damage in this back seat. My high school self would have appreciated the softness. This is the only car I'm going to be driving in Georgia. Too scared to go on the roads. Georgian drivers are freaking crazy, insane.
Это SMZ C3D. А название более длинное, чем сама машина. Машину не продавали, их давили инвалидам Второй мировой, у которых много не было, инвалидского. Из-за этого у машины нет ни одной педали. Все педали у машины на руле и справа от водителя.
О, круто. So they gave this car to all the veterans, the disabled veterans from the Second World War. And so for that reason, the pedals are on the steering wheel. They're not in there. It's a tiny car, even smaller than Italian cars.
В паспорте написано не машина, а мотоколяска.
О, интересно.
Потому что на ней, как у запорожцев, моторы сзади, а мотор от советского мотоцикла ниже. С одним цилиндром.
Ух ты.
На спидометре написано скорость 140. Но это блеф. Столько машина не выжимает. Максимум это 60. И то при крутом спуске и попутном ветре. Если рукой толкнуть, 65 тоже потянет. А это единственная советская нескопированная машина. Полностью советский дизайн. Оно и видно, топорная работа. Но я думаю, что дизайнер тоже маленьким мальчиком был, потому что если детям сказать, нарисуем машину, точно такое нарисуем. ДНВ мотоцикл у нас специально представлен, потому что от этого мотоцикла были скопированы все эти Уралы и Днепры, которые выпускали в Советском Союзе. 1937 года выпуска этот мотоцикл.
Look at that, we've got a beautiful, beautiful German-made BMW, German leather, and a Soviet copy with plastic leather. That's a joke. There's no such thing as plastic leather. It's just plastic. The Soviets really enjoyed making inferior copies of their counterparts, the inferior BMW back there. Here we've got a copy of the Vespa, the Verka, beautiful. And, I don't know, looks like a copy of a Harley Davidson or something, or the BMW, with another, you know, not so comfy seat. The one original design was that, you know, that invalid car, made by an invalid. Now this is a super classic Soviet car. If you watch any Soviet movies, this is the car people will be driving. Well, only the rich people, because the poor people didn't have cars. And if you had a car in the Soviet Union, it was this car. And only this car, maybe in another color. Like this one, this Aeroflot car, which looks exactly like the orange one, except it ain't orange. А здесь вокруг, в этом районе, еще что-нибудь интересного есть?
Музей что хочешь?
Oh, looks like there isn't too much else outside, aside from the museum in this part of Tbilisi, which is probably why there's basically no more tourists walking around here. They're all around the old town. It's a really good thing that Yandex Go and Bolt exist here, because otherwise, if I were to try to get back to my hotel right now, I would be fucked. I need to hitch a ride with that guy. Pretend that I'm not from Russia.